All right, so the final thing I've copied to the other side, but at the same time, let's finish up the front. So we needed to put the waist curve, from your A2 so just have that curve, into your waistline. All right, so that is all there. So I have copied out so that we can actually do the back over the front. We're supposed to have done it, but like I said, I'm using it for a client, but let's continue. All right, so now we're going to draft the back. All right, so now the back says A to H. Okay, so A to H, and this is still your A. Remember, this was our A, when we started the front. So A to H is half of A to E plus 2 cm. Half of A to E plus 2 cm. Okay, so you're going to measure your A to E. So A to E is 9. Half of A to E in my own, please use your own measurement, is 4.5. And if this is where 4.5 is, plus 2 cm. Okay, so I will now add 2 cm. So this is where my H is going to be. All right, so I'll write here H. Okay, and it says H to H1 square up 2 cm. But like I said, most times this is where I flip my tape. If it's a plus size, use 2 inches. All right, but for me, if it's not a plus size, I work with 2.5 cm, which is about 1 inch. So that is it. Okay, so this is where it is, and I'll write here my H1. Okay, so the next thing it says is C to C3. This is C, and we don't know where C3 is, and it says move left, that's towards me, 1/24 of half of your hip circumference, half of the hip circumference. So my client's hip circumference is 89. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take that 89 divided by 2. So whatever it gives you, you're going to divide that by 24. All right, and I have 1.85, which is approximately 1.9. Okay, so it says from C to C3. So from C, I'm coming towards me. Said come towards your left, 1.9 cm. So this is 1.9, and I'll mark it, and I'll write there C3. Okay, the next thing it says is join to point H1. So that means, see what I'm doing now. Remember that we came up, this is H1, this is H. So I'm joining from H1 to C3. I made this video long so that I can explain. All right, so can you see that? So I've joined it in a straight line. So the next thing it says is C3 to C4. This is your C3 now. So to C4 is 1/10 of hip circumference. So whatever your hip is divided by 10. So this hip is 89 divided by 10 is 8.9. So from 3, I'm going to place my 8.9 there, and I'll mark it here. Okay, and that is my C4, right? So I'll extend the line to meet that point. Trouser making is very easy. It's just to understand the techniques, and this technique is really, really lovely. Okay, so the next thing it says L. So mark your L. L is your reference. I'm taking my time because most of you may have come across this book and you want to use it and you just don't understand how to use it. That's why I'm making this, taking time to create this video and make this explanation so you can actually work with your IL Modellismo. It's very easy to work with, all right? And here it says L. So it says L is the reference point for the hip measurement, intersection of lines F1, this is your line F1, line F1, line C3, right? And line B12. So it's an intersection of this line, meaning that where this your B is to this, here is your L. Okay, so this L is a point of intersection where these lines crosses themselves. Okay, so the next thing it says is H1 to H2, right? This is H1 and it's asking you to find where H2 is. And it says extend line A to A1, this line here, this line A to A1. Extend line A to A1 to the left. Left is towards me, right? 1/4 circumference of waist, your waist measurement. Waist divided by 4 minus 1 cm plus 2 cm. Okay, so whatever you're doing, you're extending on this line. So waist divided by 4, the waist I'm working with is 71 divided by 4 minus 1 plus 2. So we have 18.75. So on this line here, this line, you're going to mark where your 18.75 is. Have you seen I placed on the A line? 18.75. But then you're going to start here where your red line is. Placed on this line, this line. Do you understand? But you're starting from where your back measurement is. All right, from here, from this your line that crossed the red line, and I will follow it and look for my 18.8. all right, so I have 18.75. Convert your 5, that makes it 18.8. So I've marked it on the line, and now I will extend that line. Okay, is it clear? So I've extended that line. Can you see that? Okay, so now this is my H2. Okay, so that's my H2, and it says H2 to H3 square up 1 cm to join to point H1. So here say you should square up. Have you seen what I'm doing? Square up 1 cm. All right, meaning that you should have a straight line upwards of 1 cm and then join it to H1. Okay, can you see that? Okay, so the next thing is L to L1 rather. All right, so it says 1/4 of hip circumference from L. So whatever you have as your hip circumference, I'm using 89 cm divided by 4. I have 22.25, like I said, so that's 22.3. Please, from this line, from your L, you're going to find your 22.3, and I'll mark a dot. Okay, now when you mark it, you can extend your line to that point. Have you seen that? So that is my L1. Okay, all right, so the next one is, and it says side seam, and L to C4 is your back crotch. So here to here is your back crotch. Okay, so to form it, and since they told you, it means it's time for you to create your crotch from L to C4. Okay, if you look at the book very well, most times some people don't see it. You're meant to create an angle like this of 2 cm. Just create a dot. It's to aid you in creating this crotch curve, your back crotch curve. Okay, so once I've done that, I'll just try. So you're now to make sure that you place this, your curve ruler, to pass from this line through that 2 cm to your L. Okay, see what I'm doing? So mine is passing to this point. When you have this kind of crotch, back crotch, it gives you a perfect fitting at the back. Okay, so the next thing it says is, so with a curve, join points H3 to L1. First of all, with a curve, you have to join this. So like I said, please, you can keep your curve anyhow you want to, whatever works for you. Okay, you keep it that way. I don't like too curvy backs like that, because like I said, this was my hip line, so I try not to have a very curvy back. So however, I'm just showing you whatever works for you, do it. I work with whatever, how my spirit leads me. Okay, so that's what I have at that point. So you've done this H3 to L1, and you've also done your L1 to C4. Okay, so the next thing it says is G to G1. It's to have your G to G1, all right, which is going to be at the here where your knee is. All right, that's your knee. So from point D3 to D2, this is D3 to D2. At this point, add 1.5 cm to each side. 1.5, 1.5. That's just what it means. Okay, so from here I'll mark 1.5, and from this end also I'll mark 1.5. So when you do that, extend. You can actually extend into straight lines, all right, so that it will help you have a straight line to work with. Okay, so that is it. And then the next thing is F3 to F4, which is, so this is your F, all right. So F3 to F4 is the same thing. You're also going to extend. So add the same measurement. So you have 1.5, and come here also and do your 1.5 cm. Please, I'm doing all this in cm. You can change it to inches. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. All right, so the same. So, and it says join points L1 to G to F3, that is the out seam, and then C4, G1 to F4, that is the in seam. All right, so we'll start with the out seam. So you have to join this. This is what you call the out seam. All right, and then you have to join this as well. So if you want to use a curve here, you know, you can also use a curve. I prefer to use a curve because I mean it's a hip part, so it's not that is a straight anything. All right, so see, it gives me a more perfect look that way. All right, so I'm done with the out seam. So this is your out seam, which is like your trouser length. So now I'm also going to join the in seam. Okay, so that's your in seam, and I'm using straight lines at this point. All right, so have you seen that? It's very easy. And look at that, it's looking so nice already. All right, so we're done. So the next thing we're meant to do is just finish up with our dart. Okay, so now it says dart M. Okay, so we're looking for M. M is half of H1 to H3. So you can just put your tape like so and move your tape and find where your half is. All right, so this is it. And that is it. So I've gotten my M at that point. Have you seen that? So the next thing it says is end to end. Move down 14 cm parallel with H1 to L line. Parallel means I'm going to have the line like this. Okay, so that means I'm supposed to move down this way. Okay, 14 cm. So I'll find where my 14 is and I'll mark a dot and then I'll draw a line. All right, parallel means the line should be the same with this line. Okay, and so I have my M at that point. Have you seen? And so the final thing it says is move out 1 cm on either side, on each side. So here 1, here 1. Okay, that's for your dart. and that's for your darts. And really, we're done. That's all about these trousers. So that is it. So we have the front on the inside and we have the back on the outside. But finally, when you copy out your trousers and you cut it, before you do anything to it, it says you need to true your trouser patterns. So copy the back, place the back on top of the front, matching inseams on the hemline. These are your inseams. So make sure that you match this to make sure that it's the same. Now the trick to it, what I do, I mean, you can match it when you cut out. Do you understand? But if you don't do that, for me, the fast way I do, whichever one works for you, is that I use my tape to check. All right. So I measure this one to the end, the red. Do you get me? So I can just put my tape and take a measure of it, follow the line like so, and check it to the end. So I have 75 cm. So I'll bring it here also. I'll check the front and see if I have the same thing. I have the same thing. If you don't have the same thing, make sure that you reduce it or increase it to be the same. When you're done with that, you also come to the out seam and also measure it and make sure that you have the back and the front the same. So you also place your tape here. Okay, follow the line as it is. Follow it exactly as it is. Okay, and take it all the way down. All right, so here I have about 100.7. So I'll move it here and also check if I have the same thing. Now, if I don't have the same thing, I'm going to make sure that I reduce this to give me the same. But in my case, I have exactly the same thing, so I'm fine. That is how you true your lines and make sure that you have it as it is meant to be. All right, so my name is Nita, your physical and online instructor, and I hope you learned one or two things and you should try out these trousers. It's really nice, well fitted, and everything. And you could, you know, actually make more things from this, like your flare bottom, straight cord, anything, you know, you can create a lot of things from this. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, please leave it for me in the comment section down below. And whenever I come online, I really make sure that I try to explain more than this. I'll still do another video and maybe take more time to explain to you, but now I want to, you know, convert this to a jean trouser, which is a different class on its own. All right, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so, subscribe. It's free. I share my videos. All right, and for those that have, thank you so much, and I'll be seeing you in my next class.